We understand that deciding between leasing and purchasing can be confusing, as difficult as finding the right car. That's why our team of trained expert professionals are here to help you with the decision. We want to make sure you have all the information so that you don't get into something that you're unsure of. Here's a quick explanation on how leasing and purchasing works so you can start gathering information and make a decision today. Okay, so let's take a look at buying versus leasing on paper. So, let's take for an example a $50,000 car. When you buy your car, you're going to have to pay tax, fees, registration, etc. And that factors out to about 9%, which will depend on what area you're in, but it's about right for where we are. So, your $50,000 car now becomes $54,500. But you're going to have to pay the bank some money if you're going to want to finance it, and they're going to want interest. And let's say that's a modest 5%. So when you add this up, your $50,000 car is now a $57,225 car. And you'll finance it for usually about 60 months, meaning you have a monthly payment of $953.75. Okay, so let's take the same car, same example, in the lease scenario. Now again, a lease is a different way of owning a car. It is considered with a residual value, which basically means that at the end of the lease term, there is a value of the car left over. It's a residue, it's a residual. So in this case, let's say that the residual is 50%, making your $50,000 car really just a $25,000 car over the course of your term. So let's take those $25,000, add on the interest that the bank wants. Now remember, the banks don't see leasing as big of a risk as buying because you're not on the hook for as much money. So let's say that the interest comes down to about 2.5%, whereas in the buy scenario, it's more like 5%. That being the case, your $25,000 car is now $25,625, and most people will lease over 36 months. So that payment comes out to $711.81, but we haven't calculated the tax yet. Now the tax on a lease is actually factored on the payment instead of on the total amount. Now what I like about this is that you don't have to pay the interest on top of the tax. In the buy scenario, this $54,500 includes your tax, and then they're charging you 5% on that money. Whereas in this scenario, the lease scenario, the tax is just factored on whatever the final payment is. So when you add that in, and in our area it's 8.25 right now, you come to $770.53. So you can see that there's a pretty significant difference in terms of lease payment versus buy payment. And if you're the kind of person who likes to have a new car every few years, then you're pretty much always going to have a car payment. It seems pretty obvious that a lower car payment every month is advantageous over paying more, obviously.